Welcome back to Life with the Spectrum. I'm your host, Gina Cavalli, and sometimes you meet amazing people doing amazing things, right? Like almost daily, I meet some force for good out there. And we were lucky enough, my family and I and Lyric, to be part of this amazing book called Superheroes on the Spectrum. And in December, we took Lyric up to New York City to be part of this unveiling. They had it right there in Times Square, the artwork. It was really, really cool. And I ran across several of the contributing authors of this book. Come to find out, they're just like me. They're just like you. They're reinventing themselves on behalf of their children and their families. So with me today, Heidi Rome. She is an author of You Just Have to Love Me, as well as the founder of Moms Spectrum Oasis. Hi, Heidi. How you doing?
Hey, Gina, I'm great. How are you?
I'm so good. So, you're featured in chapter 27 of Superheroes on the Spectrum, but tell everyone about your book. How'd you come up with it?
Well, thank you so much for asking. This book is absolutely from my heart. It is about my journey with my younger son Ethan, who is on the spectrum. He is on the severe end of the spectrum, so he's a non-speaker, and it has been quite the journey. And I have learned so much about this. And so the book is about that journey, and the title is from a conversation I had with him in which he blew me away. He talked about his autism as a spiritual journey. And wow, that changed my life. So I had to write a book.
I know, and he did say, "You just have to love me."
Yes, it was in response to my frantic question, what can we do to help you on this journey? Because I had spent decades trying to fix him because I had assumed he was broken, and that it was my job, if I was going to be a good mother, to find the cure, find the guru on some mountaintop in Nepal who would have the magic herb. Seriously, that was my thought. Do anything and everything to try to make this autism thing go away. Autism was the enemy, and I needed to eradicate it. And I had spent so many years trying to do that to no avail. And fast forward, ultimately, Ethan's behaviors had become so severe that we had to make the very difficult decision for him to go to a residential placement. He was 11 years old at this point, entering puberty, and we made the choice for him to go to a place that had 24/7 staff and the resources to keep him safe, keep everyone else safe. And we made that choice. I have to tell you, though, it was before the book, before this conversation, in which I thought I failed. I have not fixed him. I have not been able to forestall this thing I had always feared of he has to go away somewhere, he can't stay home. And I was like, oh my goodness, I can cry now. What value do I have as a human being because I failed at this critical task? And we knew then that Ethan would be going away. The silver lining blessing in the journey through very hard times, through a school system that was bent on making kids with differences conform and look like everyone else.
Sure.
Going through that hard time of it's all about the behavior and make him look normal. And then ultimately we did change schools, thankfully, and they had the opposite approach, which was to presume competence. And one of the things they taught there was facilitated communication, so alternative methods for communication for kids who don't speak or don't speak reliably. And so, you have to remember, Gina, when he was, and this is an experience common to a lot of us autism parents, when he was 5 years old, I had taken him into New York for a full evaluation by this world-renowned autism doctor. And after several days of testing, and I knew it had not been going well, she gave me a binder like this.
Yeah,
I only,
I'd
I
have one of
forgot.
those.
You have one of those? I hope you do not have that horrible sentence at the end that said that at the age of 5 years old, Ethan had the mental capacity of a 5 month old infant.
Ugh.
The worst news I have ever received in my life, including death news, including to
Right.
this moment in time. I mean, that was the worst shattering news in the world, especially since, as it turned out, it was not true.
It's
But
not true.
it's not true, and I want to shout from the rooftops to parents: don't listen to fortune tellers. It's not true. The kid may be different, learn differently, absorb information differently. Trust me, whatever their level, even if there is intellectual impact, chances are very great it's not as high an impact as you may think on the intelligence, because autism is not about the intelligence. So fast forward, they offer this alternative technique of communication, and it's controversial, and I knew that when Ethan left home it would go away. We would not be able to use it. I'll tell you more about that another time. But I went in extra to type with him because I wanted to learn all I could about him. This communication was, just to give you an example, when his first week there at the new school that offered this, and we knew he knew typing because he could copy. They had taught him the keyboard to just copy lists, which is not expression, but I knew he knew the keyboard. And his first week at the new school, they called me. Now, Gina, you don't want phone calls from school.
You don't.
Like, no, did he bite someone? Like, oh my God. The reason she was calling was that she had asked Ethan, you've been here a week now. I just want to ask you, how do you feel here? Do you like it? Like, she wanted to ask a simple, no demand question. And she only asked for 3 words. She told me later because she didn't want to overwhelm him. And she thought, this is an easy question. The new school was so different. She thought he'll say, it's loud, it's busy, colors, just easy, simple things. The reason she was calling me was that the 3 words that Ethan had typed to her: basking in joy.
Isn't that awesome? I love it. Now, where is Ethan today? Like, fast forward to
Yeah.
today, and he's been in the living facility. Like, how is he doing? What's the deal?
He's doing great. He's 18 now. He started there when he was 11, so it's been 7 years. And he can stay there through the age of 21. So,
And then he ages out, and will have to go somewhere else.
yes. And I'm also beginning to create that intentional community that he will need. So that
Good for
all
you.
the non-speakers who have so much within them and they deserve self-expression as much as any other human being. So he's doing, thank goodness, this was a good fit. It was the right thing for him to be with friends, with supportive, loving staff who think he's amazing, and just give him the support, no more, no less, which is the goal of with all our kids, right? Not too much, not too little, just enough for them to fly. So this was right before, just to close the loop, right before he was going to be leaving. And I said to him, Ethan, I know that, and this is the core story in the book, I know you enjoy going to the special needs service every month, but I never asked you your thoughts about God. And in that conversation, it was, God is in my heart and he will always protect me.
Mm.
Did he tell you that? When I lived in heaven, he told me that. Well, it goes on from there.
It sure does. With me today, Heidi Rome, author of You Just Have to Love Me and the founder of the Moms Spectrum Oasis. When we get back, we're going to find out from Heidi, what is the Moms Spectrum Oasis all about? Stay with me.
Hi, I'm Brad Grzelka, owner of Atlanta Swim Academy.
You really don't have a program like this anywhere else.
Very passionate about water safety and providing the best swimming lessons possible in East Cobb.
Make it all fun and get them comfortable with the water.
We are.
I am.
We are
Atlanta Swim Academy.
Atlanta Swim Academy.
Atlanta Swim Academy.
Woo!
We are Atlanta Swim Academy.
Welcome back to Life with the Spectrum. I'm your host, Gina Cavalli. With me today, Heidi Rome, the author of You Just Have to Love Me, talking about her son, Ethan, in this entire... It's such a great book. You can grab it, I'm sure, on Amazon and in bookstores today. You're also the founder of Moms Spectrum Oasis. Tell our viewers, what's that about?
Moms Spectrum Oasis, which my son helped me name, is a community of moms, dads, allies for the severe autism community. Because severe autism is the end of the spectrum that doesn't have a lot of public awareness. You know, autism is it's a
sure
word
doesn't.
that's getting very overused and too broad. It has no meaning anymore. Everyone can be autistic or have autistic tendencies. Elon Musk has autism, which...
Yeah, but when it comes down to being more profound, there's, of course, a relatively new alliance, the Profound Alliance, and I don't know if you're part of that now, that special group. They just had a huge conference. Over 500 mothers and fathers attended this conference because to talk about being more profound, they do. You don't really hear about that. And so it's important, you know, that if you're running, you know, just moms in crisis that need to reach out, it's so great that you're there for them.
Exactly, because I know that I used, you know, when Ethan was first diagnosed and we were realizing the severity of this, he wasn't speaking, the behaviors, it was a whole nother planet. And I had looked for help. I had gone to different support groups, and I found that I would walk out shaking. I walked out in worse shape than when I walked in because it was a pain dumping place. It wasn't a place of, okay, what's going on, acceptance, process the feelings, and then say, and now what? How do we move forward from this? Accept it, deal with symptoms, nurture the kid, get whatever therapy might be appropriate, but with the intention to enhance functioning, the body's functioning, the body's ability, the person's self-esteem and feeling good, but not with the intention to change it because it's weird and different, which was the attitude of so many of these places.
I think what you're doing is really great, being able to not just have a great book that shares your story, which so many families would relate to, right? But then also to go on and come up with the Moms Spectrum Oasis so that people, it's a community of moms. They can reach out to you. You go on speaking events and things like that to share your story and to let people know that there's other people like you and your family out there. It's not just one. And really, it takes a village. The more we can rely on one another, the better.
Absolutely right. I have a Facebook group. The name of the group is Take a Breath and Breathe. And I
love that.
Right? It's what you have to. It always comes down to mom, parent, caregiver. You have to take care of yourself first. Seriously. Because if you're a puddle on the floor, you're of no use to anyone, yourself, your kid, anyone else. So it really is crucial in that deep self-care, meaning meet your needs. One of our needs is community and support. No one can do it alone.
They really can't. So how can people find your Moms Spectrum Oasis?
Well, they can reach out to me, Heidi Rome, and go to HeidiRome.com, and the community is part of that, and just reach out to me to see what I'm doing. I'm doing training, speaking, find out what I'm up to. I would love to hear from people. The website's the best place.
And you also said you're on socials, too. So many people are on socials. What is that? Take a breath? What is that?
Oh, well, you could go to Heidi Rome, and it's Take a Breath and Breathe. So if you go to Facebook, Heidi Rome, Take a Breath and Breathe, you'll find me. And I have a monthly program 25 minutes for me and the guest speakers to just keep us strong, give us tips. You know, I call it wins and wisdom to keep it really positive and uplifting for everyone.
And now your book. We mentioned that you can get it on Amazon. You Just Have to Love Me. It's also available on your website, right? They can grab it straight from you.
Yes, they can do that. Yes.
Wonderful. Heidi Rome, thank you so much for being on the show today and telling your story, Ethan's story. It's so important for people to know there's like-minded families, like-minded people going through the exact same thing. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me, Gina.
An advocate, a speaker, a consultant, a mom that has reinvented herself, living the experiences that she has with Ethan and continues to be a force for good. I just love Heidi. You know, it was really cool to meet some of these people in person, being part of the Superheroes on the Spectrum book. And Heidi is out there making waves in the autism community for her son, Ethan. And not for nothing, I would be remiss if I didn't mention this, that Ethan lives outside of Massachusetts. And that is where several of the parents that Heidi is connected with there will open up a place called Our Voice Village. And that is going to be a living community for more profound folks on the spectrum. So if you live in the Massachusetts area, if you know someone who lives in the Massachusetts area and has a child that is getting ready to age out, you might want to get in touch with Heidi. Of course, her information, HeidiRome.com. You can grab her on social media as well. You can grab her book, You Just Have to Love Me, also on Amazon. Thank you so much for coming back to Life with the Spectrum week after week, introducing you to people who really are making a difference, reinventing themselves, providing tools and resources, organizations and foundations, and living communities that are really popping up all over the country right now. It makes parents, and it should make you feel great knowing that your future for your child is bright. I mean, so bright. They got to wear shades, right? I stole that line. Anyway, listen, thanks again for coming back as we continue to live this crazy journey called life. We'll see you next week on Life with the Spectrum. See ya.
Bye.